Yo, what's up YouTube? What's going on today? Welcome back to the channel. So we gotta talk about Boruto 2 Blue Vortex Chapter 25. Fam, it has happened. It has finally happened. Sarada has confronted her feelings about Boruto. She has finally and openly admitted it that she likes Boruto. Now everyone knows this, alright? There's no more, I think of him as my brother, this and that. Bro, there's none of that bullshit. She even said in this chapter that before, I didn't think of him romantically. Now she thinks of him romantically. Now she wants to be with him and everything. She thinks of him differently than she did before. And honestly, this makes sense because Sumire said she knew that Sarada liked Boruto, but Sarada didn't really think of it like that. Until now, she has finally confronted those feelings saying, I do like Boruto. So to us and Sumire, it was obvious. But to Sarada herself, it wasn't. Though with her, I think she was lying that she did not think of him romantically. She did, but she was denying those feelings because she wanted to be Hokage. But her feelings were not 100% up until after the Momoshiki battle. When Boruto redeemed himself, after everyone found out that he had cheated, she felt something different towards Boruto, which is what chapter 10 tells us. That Sarada was looking at Boruto in a different light and thinking that he is much cooler than he was before. So that's why I say this whole time, she knew she liked Boruto ever since that moment, but she just denied it because she wasn't sure what to do with these feelings.
She thought that the road to becoming Hokage required not having these feelings, so she hid them till now. But in reality, her wanting to help Boruto is what pushes her to become Hokage. Because she thinks that if she can help Boruto, then she can do anything. And that includes becoming the Hokage.
So everything is finally adding up with Sarada's arc. And on top of that, Sumire and Eida now know that Sarada does like Boruto. Now, what I do like about 2 Blue Vortex compared to Naruto and Shippuden is that the female MCs actually admitted their feelings. Unlike in Naruto, they weren't really that expressive with it. Hinata, we knew she liked him, but they didn't really focus more on the love stuff until the end of Naruto. In Boruto, they started it in the beginning, but they also made them work on their relationship, and then more towards the end of the series, which I'm assuming we are getting towards the end of the series, the characters have finally realized that they like each other. Now, as of right now, Sarada and Sumire are both one way towards Boruto, meaning Boruto does not know that they like him. And obviously that makes sense for Boruto's character, because if you guys remember back in the anime, when Boruto went to the theater with Sarada and Chocho and they're watching a romantic movie, Boruto did not understand the point of love, while Sarada and Chocho understood that. That right away told us that Boruto does not know anything about girls liking him, nor does he know anything about love. He knows casual love, but he doesn't know romantic love, where he'll love his sister, his father, his mother, maybe some friends, but he doesn't know anything romantically. In this case, Sarada and Sumire both agree that Boruto has not picked up on any of their signals. So Boruto does follow Naruto in that sense, that he is the dumb MC that does not understand the love interest. But I'm not calling Boruto dumb before anyone says that, alright? He follows Naruto's footsteps and not knowing that someone has feelings for him. But getting back to my point, that in the Boruto series, both the male MCs and female MCs both grow their way towards romantic feelings. As with Naruto, that shit didn't happen all the way till the end of the last movie. Like, bro, that was ridiculous, don't get me wrong. At least in Boruto, we have Sarada and Boruto hugging. We have chapter 10, Boruto giving up his eye for Sarada, Sarada saving Boruto. Like they've had better development than any other couple in the whole Naruto series. So that was the greasy stuff of this chapter. Sarada has admitted it. Now we just gotta wait for Boruto. But this also brings me to the next point, that Boruto has not picked up on any of this, and he is ready to sacrifice himself and kill himself without recognizing other people's feelings for him. And I guarantee you this will play into the story. When Boruto does sacrifice himself, Sarada is gonna admit her feelings to Boruto, telling that I don't want you to die, I do not want you to give up, because Boruto is trying to make a deal with Momoshiki saying, give me your power, let's defeat Jura, and I'll give you my body. Boruto is only thinking of himself, and I think until Sarada tells her feelings to Boruto himself,
He'll change his mind about dying and would rather live on if he knew that people cared about him.
He will then take back what he said to Momoshiki. Boruto is thinking this through because he knows that if he gives Momoshiki his body, that just means that Kawaki, who is now the strongest person, is going to kill Boruto. Kawaki is going to give him both of his fists and he gonna fuck Momoshiki up when he takes over Boruto. So that is already coming. But like I said, as for the plot, Sarada is going to tell Boruto, I don't want you to go. And that is going to change what Boruto sees towards Sarada. And he's finally going to realize that, you know, they have romantic feelings towards each other. And I'm pretty sure Boruto has some feelings towards Sarada, as we did see
during the Chunin exams when she got close to his face and he blushes, or when she touches his chest in chapter 68.
there is something there. But I think he hasn't realized it, and I think he's just like Sarada. It's somewhere deep down that he just kind of chose to ignore it because he can't pick up on any of their signals. So that will eventually happen. But speaking specifically about Momoshiki and Boruto, Boruto is trying to make this deal with Momoshiki, and I think Momoshiki is gonna take it, or he might chuckle at Boruto next chapter because Momoshiki is upset that he can't come out. And Boruto, I think, has some sort of seal on his brain, or maybe has some serious freaking willpower that he's holding back Momoshiki. Because even Momoshiki in this chapter said that he cannot take over Boruto's mind or even control it. So we know that Boruto is holding back Momoshiki at all costs, and the only way Boruto will lose on that control if he weakens his mental powers, which will happen. I think when Boruto is seriously sad or is mentally unstable is when Momoshiki is going to come out. And that is going to happen when something happens to Sarada. Mark my words on that. There is something cooking on that. Momoshiki is going to chuckle at Boruto. He's going to tell Boruto next chapter that, nah, bro, I ain't going to even bother giving you anything because I want you to die because I want to be free. But on top of that, what's the point of me helping you when Kawaki will just kill me? So Momoshiki is going to plan it in a way where he's going to let Boruto take down his guard is when Momoshiki decides to take control. And that will happen. We haven't seen Boruto despair yet. Or Momoshiki is going to spawn when Boruto has lost his will to live. Because he did say to Boruto that you're going to lose so much that you're going to hide in the back of your mind while I live out your days as Boruto. Which also makes me wonder, is Momoshiki's prophecy over yet? I know Momoshiki said that Boruto lost everything when him and Kawaki switched places, but what if there's more to Boruto losing everything? What if this is not even it? What if the true moment is when the village gets destroyed and everybody is killed? That is the real moment Boruto loses everything. But also speaking of Momoshiki, it could also hint that when Momoshiki takes over Boruto, the Jogen or something might save Boruto. Because we still have to see how the Jogen awakens. But it looks like Kashikoji has some information regarding everyone's powers. He knew what was going to happen in the future. He just did not see the outcome with Kawaki coming to save Boruto. Meaning that this new update that Kashikoji got, most likely he's seen a new power within Boruto, and that is the Jogen. Which he sees that the Jogen might give them the advantage against the Shinjus. Now I gotta talk about this last bits over here, and one of them is Eida. Eida is felt left out that Sarada and Sumire did this type of conversation without even including her. But bro, why does it even matter? She's fucking spying on everybody. But that's not my point though. My main point is that Eida is feeling left out, and I think Eida now knows that Sarada likes Boruto. I think Eida is also now going to like Boruto. What I mean by that is 2 girls now like Boruto. The third one's gonna start unconsciously liking Boruto. And we've kind of seen that. Eida has said Boruto is so cool, and it makes her tingle on the inside. Just like when Boruto said to Mitsuki, look at me to be your son, you know, and some shit like that. She was feeling Boruto. She was fiending him. Eida is now gonna start having feelings towards Boruto. And so there's gonna be some sort of rivalry among them. Right now, I think Eida is now going to start seeing Sumire and Sarada as an enemy in a way, because they both have not fallen under her spell. They are both able to love someone or have feelings towards someone, and that is not her. I don't think it's a coincidence that Shikamaru told Sarada and Sumire to keep it on the lows, that they both are immune to Eida's powers. In this case, Eida is going to notice that something is wrong with Sarada and Sumire, that they are both not falling for her, and now she's going to start doubting them, and I think this is going to lead to some sort of battle in the future, because she is such a threat to everyone, literally. Alright, so now we gotta talk about Himawari. Now this is suspect to me. Kurama says to Himawari that she is a human, yet if anything, she is more similar to him and Jura, meaning she is more likely a tailed beast. Now there is some theory speculating that Himawari is somehow related to Kaguya in a way. If Kaguya hosted the 10 tails inside of her, Himawari hosting the 9 tails inside of her, and her being similar to Jura and Kurama tells me that she is more special than we thought she was. And it kind of made sense since the anime already showed that Himawari had a weird Byakugan that changes from her regular eyes to the Byakugan. She could deactivate it and switch back no problem. Unlike other Hyuga users, they keep the shape of the Byakugan. They don't get their eyes reverted back. But on top of that, her Byakugan is very different than every other Byakugan user we have seen. So for all we know, she could be some sort of tailed beast that we don't know yet. But I think her having Kurama, or even her being similar to Jura and Kurama, it goes back to when Himawari was sick. And I think what happened back then, Naruto put a bit of Kurama inside of her to help heal her. And thus, that is how Kurama survived. And on top of that, why she was so compatible with the other Bijus. Just like with Shikaku, he had no problem being with her. So I think she's either a very good vessel, a very rare vessel for the tailed beasts, or she's something more and is similar to being an Otsutsuki, that she's able to host the tailed beasts inside of her and even control them. Because Kurama says that she's not a typical tailed beast user. But there is something suspect about Himawari, and it makes me question why it took so long for Himawari's powers to awaken. We know that her powers started awakening right after the Ishiki fight. That is when Damon and Dum were introduced, and Damon around that time noticed her power inside of her. So now this is making me wonder what's so special about Himawari. I think she has a specific chakra that allows a tailed beast to be very compatible with her. On top of that, we have Kurama of all tailed beasts who died and came back and went directly inside of her without even needing to be sealed or anything. So I'm going with the possibility that her connection is related to Kaguya or the Otsutsuki. So I hope we get an explanation for that, alright? That I'm actually very curious about. Anyways, so that's it for this chapter. Let me know what you guys think. This chapter was heavy on the romance and heavy on some foreshadowing of what might happen. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Please comment, like, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos to come.